Among the billions of races in the universe, I chose to become the Amorph, a hostile alien creature. Because this race can grow stronger through devouring and evolution, eventually reaching a point where they can swallow an entire planet in one bite. But despite being so powerful, this race has the lowest online rate among all races simply because amorphs are extremely fragile when first born. They can only kill a cockroach through sneak attacks. Looking at the values that are close to 0 before my eyes, I rubbed my eyes in disbelief, thinking I must have seen it. Wrong. These stats are pathetically low. It would take forever to grow into a true overlord, but worrying about it now won't help. Just as I closed the information window, I experienced my first mole. After molting, I felt completely drained. I needed to replenish my energy quickly. So I could only sneak into an empty warehouse, because if I crawled out to look for food outside, others could easily crush me underfoot like a dried scorpion. So I activated the hypersenses unique to amorphs and quickly found a container filled with food. But I didn't expect it to be password protected, which made things difficult. Then I directly entered 1234. In the next instant, the warehouse door opened. Looks like I'm incredibly lucky to have guessed it right. How many people would actually use such a password? Just as I finished eating a piece of chocolate, I noticed a cockroach passing by behind me. So I seized the moment when it wasn't paying attention and launched my lightning 5-hit combo, precisely subduing it. At this moment, I was curious about what a cockroach would taste like in a amorph's mouth. So I swallowed it in one bite, crispy and crunchy with a chicken-like flavor. At the same time, an information window suddenly appeared. Congratulations on triggering the predator effect, successfully extracting cockroach wings. Do you choose to apply? I didn't expect to obtain genetic fragments so quickly. You have to know the trigger probability for this is very low. Because genetic fragments are the core of a morph, they can only become stronger through constant devouring. So, I immediately pressed the confirm button. Then 2 bulges protruded directly from my back, and a pair of wings instantly grew out. Looking at this pair of gray wings, I was quite satisfied. After all, this was an invaluable life-saving measure. But how to take flight puzzled me, so I imagined them as part of my body, using my brain to control the wing muscles. The next second, I was airborne. But flying for just a short while made me break out in a cold sweat. The energy consumption of flight was much greater than I'd imagined. After replenishing myself with a few bites, I set my sights on the cockroaches because they tasted much better than that waxy chocolate. So the cockroaches entered their hunting hour. Before I knew it, I'd eaten 20 of them. But this time, I didn't obtain any cockroach genetic fragments. The exoskeleton can only be improved through leveling up. The reason I ate so many cockroaches was to obtain their tenacious vitality. While there's still no one patrolling here, I need to eat a few more quickly. So, in the following time, I completely transformed into the natural enemy of cockroaches. With flight ability, I quickly located the cockroaches' positions, scaring the remaining cockroaches so much they would run at the sight of me. But trying to slip away under the nose of me, the ultimate amorph, isn't that easy. This time I was careless and didn't dodge the obstacle, making my bald head become prominently horned. Don't think hiding inside makes you safe. I directly launched my tail stinger toward the cockroach. Let's see where you run this time. As I swallowed the cockroach, the information window appeared again. Predator effect triggered. Successfully obtained cockroach tenacious vitality fragment. Do you choose to apply? So I chose without hesitation. Then my muscles and bones grew outward rapidly, looking much stronger than before. At the same time, I heard human voices coming from outside the warehouse. As a morph, humans and I are in an adversarial relationship. I need to become powerful before humans discover me. so I can't limit myself to just this warehouse. Then I crawled through the ventilation shaft into the pipeline, through which I could reach the adjacent experimental cabin. There are relatively fewer people there, and if discovered, it would be easier to escape by destroying the equipment inside. Just as I climbed into the ventilation duct, the exhaust fan inside suddenly started up. Damn it, this makes things difficult, so I could only carefully remove the exhaust fan's outer shell. If I damaged the ventilation system, the AI would definitely report to the humans, and then attracting humans would be troublesome. Now, it's time to rely on my shape-shifting ability. Iron oxide and tin metal dust mixed together in the air can make the fan blades slow down slightly at specific points. After my brain processed all the data, it told me, "Jump now." So I concentrated all my strength into my wings and rushed toward the exhaust fan with full force. With just a ding sound, I successfully passed through the obstacle. This was truly risking my life. If I had been hit by the fan blades, I probably would have been missing limbs forever. I hope I won't encounter such things again. As I continued crawling, I heard human voices in the ventilation duct. From their conversation, I learned some information about experiments. Originally, I thought this was just an ordinary spaceship, but it seems to belong to a mega-corporation. Megacorporations are prosperous human factions around the solar system, where countries are ruled not by governments, but by large corporations. Most of them are extreme materialists. Most human races in the game are neutral, but megacorporations lean more toward the evil alliance. They capture others for experiments. Looks like I need to be even more careful. Then, I secretly surveyed the laboratory because what's inside might determine my future evolutionary path. If this is research on combat variant super soldiers, then I can gain a strong body and combat abilities. If it's the evil space elf race, I can gain powerful psychic abilities. Between these two abilities, I prefer psychic abilities. But these are just my speculations. At the same time, I heard a faint cry for help, which puzzled me. After searching around, I finally found its location. It was an amoeba. This struck me as very strange because amoebas are one of the most useless mutant beasts. Their only ability is storing oxygen. Then I activated hypersenses and discovered it was currently being electrocuted. Could this be the experiment those two humans were talking about? So I pressed the release button. The amoeba thanked me for my help. Then I heard human footsteps, so I immediately found a place to hide. As the cabin door slowly opened, a woman holding a black cat walked in. She seemed very dissatisfied with the man's experimental results. When the man heard about revoking his senior researcher status, he broke out in a cold sweat. If you can uncover talent from test subject number 26, then promotion to chief researcher would be secured. So, the woman decided to have him use Salom on the test subject. It's an awakening drug manufactured by the Star Union. Hearing this, the man was somewhat resistant, but for the sake of his senior researcher position, he still chose to compromise. Then he injected 0.07 millig of Salom into the amoeba. But the woman felt this was far from enough, so she directly maxed out the dosage. As the drug was continuously injected, the amoeba let out painful wails. Seeing this, the woman showed a satisfied smile. Watching all this from a distance, I was startled. After the drug injection was complete, the amoeba changed from pink to gray, and its aura became very weak. The woman had the man stay to record data and then turn to leave. Suddenly, she looked up toward the experimental apparatus, but there was nothing there. Was she being overly cautious? This startled me. This woman isn't as simple as I thought. The scene shifted, and I arrived at a place filled with pipes. Then I spat a mouthful of void venom toward the pipe connections as the pipe spread my toxin throughout the entire warship. This ship now feels like an extension of my body. I can sense everyone's every move, even their whispered conversations. On the fourth day of becoming a amorph, my nest was completed, and in the following days I shuttled between it and the cargo hold, eating while catching cockroaches and spiders while gathering important intelligence. I also learned some information about that woman, Karagi, the research team leader of this ship. Although her body is frail, she is the most important person here and also a threat to my survival. 2 days ago, there was an accident. A test subject escaped. She made a tracking device within 2 hours and successfully recaptured the test subject. If that escaped guy had used the ventilation ducts, then I would be in danger too. The next instant she looked toward the ventilation opening because she once again felt like she was being watched, but still saw nothing. Little did she know I was already trembling with fear. For a human, her perception is too acute. Could she have psychic abilities? It refers to those well-known superpowers like telepathy, mind control, etc. Humans occasionally gain such abilities too, but regardless of whether she has such abilities, there are always armed soldiers guarding her in a state of alert. How can I deal with her? At the same time, my level increased again. This time, I gained a paralytic venom, which for a weak creature like me is a decent life-saving measure because 1 drop can easily subdue an adult for 5 minutes. But to use the venom, I need a one-on-one situation. She has soldiers following her 24 hours a day, making it nearly impossible for me. Let me go out and relax for now. So I grabbed 2 pieces of chocolate and headed outside, then secretly came to the laboratory. After several days of recovery, the amoeba's condition was much better. Then I climbed onto the control panel and opened a window to crumble food into it, and the food flowed through the pipes and was gradually absorbed by it. The amoeba was very happy to receive food. Logically speaking, amoebas don't have any special abilities, but this one is unique. I wonder if its race has changed. At the same time, I remembered that Kisaragi often holds a black cat in her arms. She's very fond of this cat, named Caesar. If her cat disappeared, would she expose her weakness? Soon I followed the ventilation duct to where it was located. I have to say, this cat's treatment is very good. It even has its own private room. The ventilation duct entrance looks like there's nothing outside, but my super senses show it has dense laser sensors. Even the slightest touch would immediately trigger the AI alarm. Damn it. After I angrily knocked on the floor, the black cat heard the collision sound, so it directly pounced toward the duct. But fortunately, there was still an iron grate blocking it. Within just a few breaths of it touching the iron grate, guards also rushed over, but saw nothing suspicious. When they saw it was the black cat, both were speechless, as if they were already used to it. At this moment, I was startled. If those 2 had discovered me, I'd be finished. I almost got betrayed by my own tail. Coming back to my senses, I suddenly thought of something. From those people's reactions, it seems they can't do anything about this cat, even letting it run wild. If that's the case, I have a way to deal with it. The scene shifted to the next day. I made a slight noise at the ventilation opening and then turned to leave. When the black cat curiously went to investigate, it saw a cockroach inside. Seeing this, its eyes lit up, and it directly knocked open the iron grate. The soldiers didn't stop it when they saw this. They could only wait for it to run back before reinstalling the ventilation opening. Now, I just wait for the black cat to fall into the trap I've set. I placed a cockroach at regular intervals in the pipeline. As long as it follows this path here, I can make my move and keep it here. When the black cat crawled out from the ventilation opening, I directly launched a surprise attack on it. Under the paralysis of the toxin, the black cat quickly lost consciousness. The scene shifted to the other side. Kisaragi angrily came to the captain's office. The moment the captain saw her, he immediately sensed trouble. When will I see Caesar again? I haven't seen it for 2 hours. My Caesar strictly follows meal times. Something must have happened. Facing Kisaragi's pressure, the captain remained calm. Unless that cat hijacked a rescue ship and used it to escape, otherwise it must be somewhere on the ship. Making such a fuss over a damn cat, being questioned by a team leader despite being the captain. This made him very angry. But he was helpless because she came from the nobility representing the capital. And at this moment, Kisaragi seemed to have gone mad, demanding the captain immediately dispose of the soldiers from earlier. This scared him into a cold sweat. The captain has the right to make summary judgments. Exercise that right now. Her behavior also stunned the nearby researcher. The soldiers felt even more angry. So the captain could only agree to hold the trial after finding the cat. Hearing this, Kisaragi gradually calmed down, but she only gave the captain 2 hours. If you still can't find it after 2 hours, you can forget about being captain. After she left, the captain could only curse. Where did that damn stinking cat run off to? And I just smiled. Of course, it's in my belly. Just after I ate the black cat, I gained a special skill. Wild instinct. This is a constitution I've never seen before. The wild instinct trait can merge with the existing supersensory trait. It merged with supersensory and evolved into predator instinct. This instinct can sense impending threats through current information. I also tried to activate this instinct but failed. This might be an automatically activated passive trait because no threats exist. It hasn't been activated. I'll have to study this slowly later. Now, let me see what she's doing. Soon I arrived at the room where she was. Everything was as I expected. This type of person only shows humanity toward things they cherish. Then, my second plan was also successfully completed, stirring up the relationship between her and the guards. Because the guards had a bad relationship with this cat from the beginning, the essence might be closer to anger toward class. Kasaragi comes from the highest echelons of the mega corporation representing noble capital. Now that they have a rift, the soldiers definitely won't protect her like before. All credit for this goes to that kitty. At the same time, Kisaragi angrily came to the laboratory, venting her emotions on the test subjects inside. Just as she was about to leave, she noticed test subject number 26. She showed a creepy smile, continuously pressing the power button. Only after seeing it barely alive did she leave satisfied. This was something I didn't expect. My amoeba friend bore it all. But don't worry, soon I'll be able to help you get revenge. 2 hours passed and Kasaragi found the captain again. This time she was very angry, immediately wanting to remove him from his captain position. Are you defying the will of noble capital? I am the captain of this ship. Watch your words. Even noble capital cannot tolerate overstepping authority. I have the right to detain you. Hearing this, Kisaragi smiled contemptuously. The situation is getting more interesting. It seems there was already conflict between them before I started watching. At this moment, Kisaragi could only leave angrily. Just as she passed the restroom, she happened to want to go in and wash her face. And the 2 soldiers also wanted to take advantage of this gap to use the restroom. So I hurried to crawl toward the restroom's ventilation opening. This was a rare opportunity for me. Usually one person must stay on guard when going to the restroom, but because of the rift, this time both guards went together. Plus, there were no security devices in the restroom to interfere with my actions. These were the best conditions for an ambush. When Kisaragi lowered her head to wash her face, I had already arrived behind her. Before she noticed, I slipped to the ceiling above. Suddenly, she sensed something was wrong. So, she immediately turned around to look, but it was all too late. While crying out an alarm, Kisaragi dodged sideways to avoid my poison stinger. Damn it, she dodged. Then I struck again before she could land. As the toxin was injected, Kisaragi immediately foamed at the mouth and lost the ability to move. At this moment, I was curious about what she was feeling. Fear at seeing the alien creature, or anger at her current situation, or perhaps fear of death. But it's all over now. At the same time, a dialogue box popped up. Evolution conditions have been met. Do you choose to evolve? Do I even need to ask? Of course I'll evolve. Just as I was about to select confirm, a vision of me being shot flashed through my mind. This scared me into shivering. Was that vision the predator instinct? Damn it, I need to leave here immediately. Just then, I heard footsteps from outside. So I quickly climbed onto the wall to hide. When the soldier saw Kisaragi, I jumped directly onto his back, swinging my poison stinger toward his weakest point. After doing this, I flew directly up to the ventilation opening and installed the iron grate. I must leave because his companion will discover this. Play soon. Soon I returned to my nest. Now I should be able to evolve without anyone disturbing me. Then I directly pressed the confirm button. What followed was countless tiny droplets of sweat. Just in the blink of an eye, they became the size of water drops. In no time, red viscous liquid completely enveloped me. My God, this evolution method is quite special. If I had memories from the fetal period, would it feel like this? This liquid is transforming me into a true amorph. Although I really want to open my eyes and see, I can't move at the moment. I can only wait for the evolution to end. The scene shifted to the next day. As the shell writhed, a black-purple amorph crawled out from inside. I finally passed through the hatchling period and truly took the first step. At the same time, the captain gathered all the main members because they discovered Kisaragi dead in the restroom. If they can't find the cause, presumably none of the people present will have a good outcome. Just then, the vice captain thought of a solution. We're now near planet CO8, and this is space pirate territory. If we frame the space pirates for this, the higher-ups will definitely have nothing to say. Space pirates are scoundrels who roam space attacking and plundering. Also one of the mega-corporation's mortal enemies. If we report being attacked by them, then we can cover up Kisaragi's death. The scene shifted. At this moment, I was experiencing my post-evolution body. Now I'm a void larvae. I should change my strategy. Previously, I had to avoid human sight just to survive. Since the survival problem is solved, it's time to consider the next step. Then, I open the attribute panel. The evolution position has been displayed once. Morphological evolution is divided into 6 stages, with 5 evolutions total, starting with the initial hatchling period and the current larval period. Next comes the pupa period and pre-odal T period. Finally, the auto period. After growing to odal T period, I'll be a true amorph. When a shapeshifter rises in the game, all secrets about their origins are revealed. Where they come from, what they are, etc. So the possibility might be similar in reality. My identity will definitely be revealed then. But those are matters for later. Now let me see what types I've unlocked. As expected, physical enhancement types are almost all realized due to the strengthened exoskeleton and acidic blood trait gained when becoming a larvae. The type is similar to other races' abilities, but slightly different. When conditions are met, this type unlocks related abilities to gain synergistic bonuses. But I find the second type very strange. I don't think I've eaten this type of creature. Could I have forgotten something? Soon I remembered it was that woman named Kisaragi. This must be because of her superpowers. Now I must eat her to fill up the progress bar. Then I reopened the ventilation duct. Now that my body has grown larger, the ventilation duct feels much narrower. Soon I found her scent, found you. At this moment, a red-haired man was wearing headphones listening to music. Just then, he smelled a strange odor, so he quickly got up to investigate. When he came to the room, he was startled by the scene before him. There was somehow a hole in the floor, as if something had corroded it. Just as he was thinking, little did he know, danger was quietly approaching. Just as he turned around, I-Spring launched to his front. Hunting time. In less than an instant, the man was dealt with by me. Then I went directly to the cold storage room and pulled off the white cloth. Lying there was Kisaragi. Because she came from the noble capital, she remained intact, even after death. They also wouldn't allow anyone to touch her body. But I can kill so ruthlessly, without feeling any guilt. Could it be that I was already corrupted when I became a amorph? Or was this ruthless, cruel guy the real me from the beginning? Forget it. Thinking about this won't solve any problems. So I swallowed the woman in one bite. Just then, I felt like there was something in my mouth. I don't know what this device is or what it's for. Could she have had heart disease? So, I crushed the core without hesitation. Then, the information window appeared. Predator. Effect triggered. Obtained mental organic fragment. Do you choose to apply mental organ? As expected, just as I guessed, this guy had psychic abilities. Although this is an important mental organ, it doesn't seem very useful to me. Can't worry about that. Now, let me fill up the progress bar first. Just after I pressed the confirm button, many tentacle-like hairs grew from the back of my neck. It seems like the predator instinct, another trait fusion that became useful. Then I turned my attention to the guard. Now is the growth stage. Nothing can be wasted. Moments later, I sense the guard's movement outside. It seems they're changing shifts, which means this doctor will also change shifts. When another person comes here, they'll notice the changes in the room. Then when they discover this was a monster's doing, they'll definitely hunt me down. I don't yet have enough ability to engage in full combat with the crew. I need something to buy time until I become stronger. Just then, I noticed the black smoke from the corroded deck with corpse preservation chemicals nearby. I suddenly thought of an interesting idea. This might be a good way to get through the crisis and harass the crew. The scene shifted to the other side. An old man was happily farming on the land. Then, two men in black came to his side. They were there to inform him of Kisaragi's death. When the man heard his third daughter was dead, he laughed loudly, saying it was impossible. Seeing this, the butler nearby was already sweating profusely. However, the man in black said again, it was true. The last signal came from near CO8. Investigation shows this is space pirate territory. Before the man in black could finish, he was met with a heavy punch. After he fell, the man picked up a farming axe and swung it down at him. After this was done, several more men in black came and carried him away. This person was the leader of the Eugene family, one of the great families in the East Asian region of Earthbase. The reason he was so angry was because the cost of cultivating Kisaragi could buy an interstellar warship. Everyone related to that ship. I want them all to be buried with my daughter. The scene shifted to the other side when the ice room was discovered on fire. The bodies inside had already been burned beyond recognition. Everyone didn't know what was happening. I don't understand how there could be a fire when it's full of corpses. Suddenly, the medical team leader thought of something and urgently called the captain to hold an emergency meeting because this matter wasn't as simple as it appeared on the surface. When the captain learned that Kisaragi's body was missing, he immediately broke out in a cold sweat. I checked over and over. Definitely only 2 bodies are missing considering the chemicals in the morgue could cause fire, but this situation is very rare. So, the vice captain deduced it might be deliberate arson, but others thought it was the work of a morph. However, the supply team leader reacted very strongly, directly denying his view. At this moment, the captain knew that if he couldn't think of a solution, everyone here would have to bear the nobility's wrath. and I was in the ventilation duct, watching their every move. It seems my previous plan was flawless, a method to hide identity and confuse enemies. Who would think that mixing chemicals in the morgue would cause a fire? And I also added my corrosive solution. Thanks to this, things were handled well. But I didn't expect the amorph topic to come up. Most importantly, they want to contact those space pirates. The captain must be crazy. This time, it's the risk management team leader taking the lead. I'll need to take care of him later. He might be colluding with pirates. Pirates are different races, so I can obtain different genes. But the genetic fragments I get from the research ship will decrease due to attacks. I need to see the pirate's level to make the right judgment. Just then, I noticed another person. He seems to be the supply management leader who just firmly denied my existence. He shouldn't have any relation to this matter. But why would he react like this? At the same time, the man carefully observed his surroundings, then secretly entered a warehouse. His behavior struck me as very strange. What secret is he hiding to have such a reaction? When I used hypersenses, I couldn't penetrate this container. This made me even more certain he must be hiding something important. I originally planned to target the medical team leader, but I changed my mind. He's my next target. The scene shifted. The supply team leader came to the bar to drink away his sorrows because he believed the black market cultist dealer's words and smuggled an alien creature's egg. Unexpectedly, the second day after, loading it into the container, the creature egg hatched. He didn't reveal this to anyone, but if the captain found out, he'd be dead. At this moment, he thought Kisaragi was eaten by that alien creature. So, he was very troubled. After he finished drinking and wobbled back to his quarters, he always felt like something was watching him. But when he looked back, there was nothing. Damn it! Could it be a hallucination? Just then he heard rustling sounds. Then he saw half of the monster's body, and his alcohol instantly sobered up. He quickly turned and ran. Damn it! Zuri reached the cabin door, entering the password at a speed that broke human limits. After getting inside, he was tripped by a wine bottle from earlier. Just as he was about to call and report, rustling sounds came from outside the door again, along with the sound of entering a password. As the cabin door slowly opened, a black-purple amorph appeared before him. At this moment, he was trembling with fear, unable even to scream. And I stepped forward and sniffed. Brother, you smell so good. Just after I dealt with the supply team leader, I searched through his house. Judging from this guy's living environment, he's really lazy. Dirty socks almost thrown into bowls. The captain should thank me for helping him downsize. Looking at this messy floor, even I, a morph, think it's disgusting. After searching his entire room, I still couldn't find his work badge. Where did this guy hide such an important thing? Just then, I noticed the poster on the wall. She looks very sexy. But maybe because of my current state, I don't feel anything. How speechless. When I picked up the folder on the table, a card fell out. Great, now I have everything. Time to leave. But before leaving, let me clean up this place. The scene shifted and I arrived at the container. I couldn't sense before. Inserting the work badge plus fingerprint authentication, the heavy cabin door slowly opened. Let me see what's really hidden inside. Inside, I saw rows of freezers. Turns out this guy was a smuggler. Just then, I noticed something nearby. One container was already damaged, and the creature inside had escaped. This seems to be the egg I was born from. No wonder there was some familiar aura. In the game, a morph starting position isn't on spaceships. They come from a mysterious ruin. I don't know what happened during transport, but it looks like after hatching, the original amorph escaped the container and died from lack of timely energy replenishment. Then my consciousness took control of this body. This explains why I found cockroaches so delicious. It was the body's survival instinct. After mourning the eggshell for 1 to 2 seconds, I turned my attention to the nearby freezers. Time to do some inhuman things, so I directly grabbed the remaining amorph eggs. Amorphs that hatch first will eat the other eggs. This is the amorph survival law. Though unfortunately, no predator instinct message popped up. I really have to thank nature's gifts. Then I looked at the remaining eggs. The remaining relatives naturally can't be spared either. Then the window popped up again. This time I gained a mimicry skill. Honestly, I was a bit disappointed after devouring Kisaragi. What I got wasn't psychic abilities but a useless psychic organ. But thinking about the supply team leader giving me such a precious gift, there's nothing to be disappointed about. These skills might provide important help in the mid or late game because I can mimic the characteristics of people I've previously devoured. With these abilities, I can move more freely. Now there's not much time left before meeting the space pirates. I need to become as strong as possible because I don't know how dangerous they are. No one in the universe will hear screams in space. Cries will be completely buried in the dark abyss. The scene shifted to the warship's landing bay. At this moment, many people were repairing the fighter jets. However, they also weren't clear why the captain wanted to inspect these warships because they currently hadn't received any news about fighting. Precisely because of this, their speculations varied wildly. The most terrifying was that space monsters had entered the warship because many people had gone missing. Hearing the two people's conversation, the man nearby also chimed in. He'd also heard about the supply team leader disappearance, but the blonde man didn't believe this was true. However, the other two still believed these views. This made the blonde man very angry, so he turned and left. The scene shifts to midnight. The two men are still repairing the fighter jet. Just then, the blonde man says he's going to get some drinks and turns to leave. Immediately after, the black-haired man hears the supply team leader's voice. Since he's alone, he has to stop what he's doing to go check. But when he comes outside, he sees nothing. Just then, the voice comes from the maintenance bay again. When he approaches to look inside, it's pitch black, which confuses him, but he still turns on his flashlight and walks in. Suddenly, a pungent smell hits his nose. It seems like the smell of rotting metal, but the voice keeps luring him forward. Suddenly, he trips over a screw and falls. Looking at the dark environment before him, he remembers the news about the supply team leader's disappearance. Could it really be a space monster? Unbeknownst to him, the alien creature has already appeared behind him. Before he can react, the alien creature grabs his head. I smell the scent of fear with a scream from the maintenance bay. The entire landing bay falls silent when the blonde man returns with drinks. The black-haired man is nowhere to be seen. Suddenly, the black-haired man's voice comes from nearby. Looking at the pitch-black maintenance bay confuses him, but the voice inside tells him to hurry in and move things. He doesn't think much and goes straight in. However, when he goes inside, he sees no one, only a flashlight dropped on the ground. Just as he crouches down to pick it up, he feels a thick liquid behind him. The next instant, countless red droplets fall. When he looks up, a ferocious alien is watching him from the ceiling. With a scream, the man's life ends. I have to say, the mimicry skill is very useful. All this thanks to the creatures smuggled by the supply team leader, including larvae called red worms. Red worms are giant desert worms that only live on desert planets and have the ability to mimic other creatures' voices. Because of this, they can hunt even in harsh environments. Using red worm larvae and obtaining their gene fragments is like finding treasure for me. But the downside is it's a downgraded version compared to the original. I can only mimic the voice of the last creature I devoured. His name was Cameron Dunton. Tomorrow night I'll mimic him. Then I open the ventilation duct again because I want to go see that amoeba. Calling it an amoeba feels strange. From now on, I'll call it number 26. Soon, I reach above the laboratory, and now I can understand what it's saying. I didn't know the psychic organ could be used this way, allowing me to communicate with other creatures through brainwaves. Then I respond to its words. Number 26 says, "It's very hungry now and needs food. Compared to before, its vocabulary has increased a lot." Then I directly apologize. "I can't bring it food right now because the laboratory has many guards watching. If I go down, I might be discovered by them. Now, even the ventilation above is dangerous. All I can do is talk to you like this." Hearing my explanation, number 26 also shows understanding. Then it tells me to be careful, and I turn to leave. Right now, I can only pray it holds on. If I can evolve to the pupa stage, maybe I can save it. But the problem is the pupa's evolution conditions are quite harsh. I need to devour 2 intelligent species, and each species requires 10 individuals. This ship only has humans, so pupa evolution is impossible. Although there are pirates, I don't know much about them either. Just then I hear the vice captain's voice. He seems to be communicating with some mysterious person. Suddenly he seems to sense a hint of surveillance, but it's as if there's nothing there, making him suspicious. After listening to his conversation, I'm very surprised. I didn't expect him to be such a cunning fox. He wants to overthrow the captain, so he encouraged the captain to cooperate with the pirates. But from the phone call, it seems he has other plans. I need to wait and see if this is beneficial or harmful to me. The scene shifts to the other side. When the captain learns that someone else has been victimized, he's very angry. So far, 8 people on the ship have died, and I've been present at every one of their meetings. Right now, I'm in the ventilation duct above watching them and laughing secretly. They never expected the culprit is right here. Just then, the vice captain raises a question. Because there are many cameras in the ship's cabin, humans couldn't possibly hide so much. So, there's only one possibility that an unknown space creature has appeared on the ship. Plus, the supply team leader container was empty. So he's even more certain because they never searched the ventilation ducts from beginning to end. Maybe it's hiding up there watching us. Damn, this guy named Arnold. I should have taken him out earlier after. Hearing his words, the captain also thinks it makes sense. So he immediately assigns him 8 men. Then, I leave here directly. It seems this battle is unavoidable. With Arnold's personality, he'll definitely place security in the ducts. Now the ducts are also under their watch. Even if I leave my nest, I have nowhere to go. The hall has cameras. The ducts can't be used. The time has come to make an important decision. Let's fight. Even without limbs, I'll bite through the enemy's throat, because I am a mighty void, predator warrior. This time, I don't hold back and directly activate maximum hypersenses. Analyzing the structure of the warship, even the enemy's positions and movements. If I imagine this ship sailing in deep space as a living being, then right now I'm like a parasite that has infected its brain because I know everything happening on the ship. The captain and other team leaders are gathered in the command room. Arnold should also be there commanding. I also discovered the movements of armed soldiers. As expected, they split personnel to enter from 2 locations. The plan's general outline is determined. I'll adjust details based on enemy weapons and actions. Now, let's see who's really the prey, little lambs. Right now, the search team is split into 2 groups, 1 group of 3. Their actions are all arranged by the command room. Arnold is very surprised by the appearance of alien creatures because assassinating Kisaragi was originally his mission. But he's more worried that variables will affect his plan, so he must kill the monster. Right now, Team A's 3 members reach a fork in the road. Just then, AH's radio shows some abnormalities. Arnold tells him to stop and fix it before continuing. Meanwhile, the communications officer discovers AH's camera isn't moving. But after the commander's call, it returns to normal while the other team B2 and B3 prepare to rendezvous. But just as the two successfully meet up, B2 lets out a scream. Arnold knows the monster has appeared. In just an instant, B2 loses contact with the command room. Things happen too fast for the control room to obtain any useful information. Only then does Arnold realize. It seems we all underestimated it. A soldier wearing medium reinforced armor was taken out by it in one go. It's a monster much more agile than I imagined. So Arnold directly issues a kill order. No matter who hears a sound, shoot immediately. Then the communications officer tells B3 to go rendezvous with B1 because being alone makes it easy for the monster to ambush. But just as B1 and B3 meet up, B1 says he hears rustling sounds. He clearly feels something approaching. But soon he relaxes his guard because he hears B3's voice. Hearing this, Arnold breathes a sigh of relief. This is the control room. B1 and B3 report after connecting. Suddenly, a loud scream breaks the current silence. B1 discovers B3's body has been taken over by the alien creature. So Arnold immediately grabs the communicator to contact B1. Please explain the situation in detail immediately. However, the result is that nothing can be seen. This makes him curse directly. Damn it! He can't understand how they're so close but can't see anything. This is very unreasonable. He carefully recalls neither B1 nor B3 appeared in the camera unless they deliberately avoided filming the monster. The next moment he suddenly thinks of something, so he picks up the headset again to ask B1. This time the captain requires him to state your name and rank, but B1 gives no response. So I stop pretending to. I immediately destroy the camera. When they see the monster's hand destroying the camera, they're stunned. They didn't expect B1 to be taken out right under their noses. And I first took care of Team B, and through wavelengths got hints from conversations with number 26, using wavelength interference to disrupt enemy communications as a tactical action, because the wavelength I emit disrupted B3's equipment in the rear. So one of them had to leave the team to repair his equipment. I used the new fusion trait neurotoxin to incapacitate him. Then I devoured him. Next, only Team A remains. Now let me see where they are. Right now they're in a state of high alert as expected. Because of Team B, they know nothing about me, so they were caught off guard. But Team A heard me mimicking human voices, so they'll be very vigilant. Maybe this time I should use their intelligence. There's a fork ahead in Team A's direction. They'll pass through here soon, and I decide to ambush them here. Sometimes knowing too much is actually harmful. Moments later, Team A's members reach the fork, and the command room tells them to shoot immediately upon hearing other people's voices. Sure enough, a call comes from the corridor. Hearing this, the three don't hesitate and pull their triggers directly. Then the men finally see the monster's figure. So two go forward to check while leaving one behind a guard. Unbeknownst to them, I've already come. Behind the three through the ventilation. Right now, the three feel a chill on their backs. But when they turn around, they see nothing. However, I've already come in front of one person and taken him hostage. So, he immediately tells the other two to open fire. After repeated requests, the two finally pull the trigger, and I can only turn and flee. Although this laser weapon isn't very powerful, it still scratched my skin. Then I use the corner to shake off the two. Watching number 3 about to go into shock with no way to help. Number 1 is very angry. Damn monster, when I catch you I'll tear off your limbs. Meanwhile, the two notice the monster's blood on the ground. They've never seen blood with such strong corrosive properties. As the two advance, they come to a lower pipe. So a 1 requests injection of enhancement drugs. With the injection of the solution, a 1's strength increases several times. He swears he'll definitely kill the monster with his own hands. Soon the two discover a huge opening. Seeing this, they guess the monster has escaped to the corridor. Then they report the situation to the command room. Unbeknownst to them, this is just my diversionary tactic. When the two aren't paying attention, I launch a direct assault. Braving gunfire, I take down one. The other, seeing this, also fires at me with full force, but I use the other person directly as a human shield. At the same time, I whip out my tail stinger, but it gets knocked away by his punch. Seeing this close-range fist, I immediately choose to dodge. Sideways. Fortunately, my speed is fast enough to avoid damage, so I choose the 36 strategies. Retreat is the best policy. Seeing the monster escape before his eyes, A is very angry, and I also follow the pipe to a safe place. They're stronger than I imagined. I might need to adjust my strategy. I can't use small tricks to fool them anymore. I need to think of another way. Soon I think of one. How could I forget about him? Right now, a 3 is lying in the pipe, barely alive. After observing him once, I charge directly at him. Right now, strong acidic gas emanates from my mouth. A 3 is terrified seeing my appearance. I don't hesitate and directly end his life because I want to use him here to wait for prey. This is the control room. A 3 has been attacked by the monster. Repeat, a 3 has been attacked by the monster. A 1 finally walks back to a 3's position, only to see him covered in blood. So he puts down his laser gun to treat a 3. But suddenly a tail stinger pierces directly through his chest. Only then does he realize he's been tricked. He never expected an alien creature to have such high intelligence. Now it's too late to escape. I crawl out directly from the armor. My carefully laid plan wasn't in vain. You smell better than other prey. I'll definitely savor you slowly. Seeing this scene, the people in the command room are scared witless. They realize these people can't harm the alien creature. After devouring the last soldier, I'm thinking about the next countermeasures. After receiving my warning, they'll attack with full force. I know this ship lacks enhancement devices, but the problem is the equipment they have. If they brought plasma launchers, I'd be in great danger. Plasma equipment is high-energy weapons for fleet combat, mainly used to destroy warships and tanks, but they're big and heavy. One person can't carry them. Although there are lightweight versions, they're ridiculously expensive. So the best are medium-weight plasma launchers. I've seen this ship's armory. Whether they have equipment is questionable, and right now, I see many soldiers moving toward where I was earlier. They should be preparing to surround me. But for me, this is an opportunity, because I can do the opposite. While the enemy is looking in the wrong place, I directly assault their headquarters. Most importantly, I must devour that Arnold. He's a huge threat to me. Soon I reach above the command room. Right now, they're arguing heatedly about this squad incident, and I'm celebrating that they didn't spend money upgrading equipment. Otherwise, I'd be in trouble. Just then, Arnold applies to the captain to use plasma launchers. But before the captain can refuse, other team leaders object, because using such things in the ship's cabin is tantamount to digging one's own grave. Now I know they really have them. Seeing the chaos below, this is a good opportunity for me to act. Although I really want to eliminate Arnold, his position is too far from me. I must choose a different target. Soon I find the first unlucky guy, the person who tortured number 26 with drugs that day. I've decided the target is you. Then I punch through the iron grating. The abyssal M lunges directly at that researcher. Feeding time has arrived. With my bite, the researcher dies horribly in front of everyone. Then I turn my gaze to several people nearby. In just the blink of an eye, I take out 2. The remaining people scramble to escape, and the communications officer is calling for squads to return for support. But the next instant, he dies suddenly. Just then, several bullets hit my body. This confuses me. This guy actually didn't run away. His handgun can't hurt me at all. Does he have some hidden weapon? Just as I'm about to act, an image of me being shot dead flashes in my mind. This scares me into being a good boy. He's also hiding a plasma pistol. If hit in the head or chest, it's instant death. Even a graze would be fatal. Damn. This means he's connected to the Eugene family. Seeing the monster hesitate to act, Arnold knows the monster has seen he's still hiding weapons. When he pulls out the pistol, the others are all shocked. How does he have something so ridiculously expensive? Right now, he's constantly praising me because he thinks my operating style is very much like his teacher's. Then he directly pulls the trigger. But in terms of speed, I still have the advantage. From the current situation, this is the biggest crisis since I was born in the cargo hold. But the final victor will definitely be me. Meanwhile, the laser directly penetrates the control panel and comes at me. This guy is strange, so I activate void hypersenses. His heart rate is very stable. As expected, the previous fear was just an act. He may have analyzed me to some extent, guessing I have some kind of biological radar. I smell a similar hunter scent from him, the scent of an experienced predator. Seeing the laser that brushes past me, I shudder in fear. Fortunately, this is the control room. There are many control panels for me to dodge damage. Seeing the alien creature before him darting around, he's very angry, this damn rat. Right now, I activate void hypersenses and hear his conversation. As expected, he's just buying time, acting like he wants to kill me, but that's just an illusion. He's buying time while protecting the captain and team leaders. This is his plan before soldiers come to catch me. Just then, I notice the fire extinguisher below. This might provide me great help, so I directly pull the safety pin, spraying powder at his line of sight while interfering with him. I hold the fire extinguisher and look around. Everyone now can only see other silhouettes. Seeing this, he immediately tells others to evacuate from here. I have to say his insight is quite good, but this judgment is wrong. Then I use the voices of devoured people to interfere with several people. When they hear Arnold is dead, they all panic because they don't know if it's true or false. The blonde in front under extreme mental tension can no longer make judgments, so he shoots directly at a sound source. And this shot hits Arnold exactly, making him instantly lose combat ability. This is a good opportunity for me. What I didn't expect is he can still lift his gun again. Seeing the laser scratch my skin, my heart reaches extreme tension. Seeing this, I immediately turn and distance myself. Then a pair of wings grow directly from my back. No one expected I'd make a comeback the next second. In an instant, Arnold loses momentum. The blonde, seeing the figure in front, thinks it's Arnold, but when he sees clearly, he discovers it's the alien creature. This scares him, unable to move, but strangely, the alien creature doesn't kill him. I don't hesitate and run directly up the ventilation pipe because my instinct tells me not to stay even 1 second. Then after 2 hours of recuperation, my injuries have all healed. The remaining captain is no longer a threat. It's also time to expand my nest. But I'm having trouble choosing the location. First is the cafeteria. After all, eating is crucial for survival. Next is the armory where the plasma launcher is located. This is a weapon that can kill me, so I need to deal with it immediately. Then the laboratory, because the laboratory has lots of genetic samples and specimens. As long as I have gene fragments, I can evolve to the pupa stage, so I need to prepare for pirates or other potential enemies. I've decided I'll build my nest in the cafeteria laboratory. As for the ion launcher, I'll just go steal it back. The reason I'm worried about plasma weapons is because Arnold's words keep bothering me. I don't know what the person behind him does, but he might be with the pirates or might be mixed in among them. Nothing is more terrifying than an enemy of unknown identity. I need to collect information as much as possible. Just then, I hear number 26's voice. It sounds like it's in a good mood today. Could it be because no one came to do experiments today? Thinking about it, they probably can't do experiments in the situation. Everyone is scared, hiding in their own rooms. So, should I be bolder going out? So I directly expose myself in front of the alarm. Meanwhile, on the other side, When the armed squad rushes back to the laboratory, almost everyone inside is wiped out. Only one researcher living on tube survives because he has some immunity to toxins. So he luckily survived. Then the man suggests the captain can surrender to the space pirates. But the captain is very resistant. He doesn't answer and leaves angrily. Right now, the captain knows clearly that after so many team leaders died, he no longer has the ability to fight pirates. An immediate escape is his only choice. Just then, two soldiers discover a different laser gun, so the captain takes it. Looking at the ammunition display above, with 60% energy remaining, he thinks it can last a long time, but he doesn't notice the energy device is already damaged. Right now, I wait in the pipe for a full half hour. Still no one comes. It seems I don't need to be cautious anymore. So, I directly break open the iron grating. It's been a while since I've seen number 26. Looking at its skin color, it looks healthy, but staying here like this, it will starve to death. Should I take it out? The amoeba's characteristic is it's not picky about food and is immune to toxins. So, keeping it in the nest or taking it along are both fine. So I ask if it wants to go out with me. Hearing this, number 26 is very happy. It's long wanted to leave this hellish place. Then, I tell it to move aside a bit. I accelerate and use my forehead to directly break the glass tank. Just like that, the amoeba finally escapes its cage. After coming out, number 26 thanks me repeatedly. After doing this, I put it aside because I still have serious business to do. Then a large amount of green mucus sprays from my mouth. With my continuous swaying, the mucus instantly spreads throughout the entire laboratory. Seeing the dense green mucus, I'm very satisfied. The first nest is complete. Then I grab the parasite nearby. After building the nest, I need to replenish my energy. And number 26 is also happily eating food. Just then, I hear footsteps outside the door. Why are these people only coming now? Judging by the footsteps, one is a soldier, the other might be a researcher. For me, they're both food delivered to my door. When the two push open the laboratory door, they're startled by the scene before them. Dense green mucus spreads throughout the room like blood vessels. The soldier knows this is the alien creature's handiwork, so he immediately shoots behind him. But this is futile for me. I end his life with just one strike. Seeing the soldier die horribly, the researcher nearby is scared, weak in the knees. Then I grab his head. But suddenly I hear number 26 make an angry sound. It turns out this person also seemed to participate in number 26's experiments. It's angry because the person who tortured it is right in front of it. So, I leave him for number 26 to handle. The number 26 directly transforms into a blob of mucus, instantly wrapping around the man's head. It won't be long before his head is dissolved. And right now, I'm eating genes. The next instant, a dialogue box appears. It seems gene fragments were extracted. Extractable types exist. Do you want to select application? I just devoured over 500 samples, but only obtained 3 traits. So, should I unlock types immediately or should I choose direct application? After all, I don't have much time left. I immediately select the confirm button. The next second, the muscles on my back grow a size larger, and the leg muscles also become much thicker, while number 26 nearby watches me grow bigger. This makes it feel very envious and at the same time very curious. Then I explain to it, this is like growing from a child to an adult, but it doesn't seem to understand the meaning. It seems it still has a lot to learn. Never mind that. Then I carefully examine my body. I feel like I've changed from a leopard to a rhinoceros. Not only has my height increased, my arms and legs are also covered with hard biological armor. And, right now, I'm also curious what attribute bonuses I've gained. Then I open the attribute panel. Natural recovery tentacles, contamination organ. Natural recovery fuses with powerful vitality to form regeneration. Everything is good. The only disappointment is this psychic type. Although the types of genes I can devour are unlimited, the experience needed to gain new types will double. For example, if I first get void hypersensus enhancement, then physical enhancement's required experience will increase from 10 to 20%. Although it would be easier in games, reality is full of countless dangers. I'll postpone psychic type to the next unlock. Let's first test the new talent. The next instant, a saw-like tentacle emerges from my palm. Then I test its power. The tentacle easily pierces through the stone pillar. After physical enhancement, its power has increased greatly. Next is the contamination organ. With my control, countless dark green smoke emerges from the mucus. These are acidic spores that can corrode enemies' respiratory tracts or skin. I'm very satisfied with this skill. With this ability, I can turn the entire ship into a fortress. Now, it's time to go to the next destination. Meanwhile, number 26 jumps onto my shoulder. I want to know what reaction the crew will have when they see me now. Will they cry loudly or rush to escape pods? How exciting. The scene shifts. Right now, there's a group of people desperately fleeing.